Okay folks, welcome back to your old pal Hondo here. We're doing a test and review on the ESEE Fire Steel. It comes in this nice black box, char box, and comes with a survival card with different instructional, signals for the ground if you're injured or not injured. Comes with a how-to use guide as well, and we're going to open this up and show you what's inside. Okay, now when the ESEE Fire Steel comes to you, it just comes to you with this fire striker. The stones and char cloth is optional for this survival tool. It's well made. I've used it already last season. It works really good. We're not going to use the bow drill divot on this because I don't have seasoned horseweed to make a spindle or anything right now. Maybe later on down the road we'll test that feature of this. It's made out of 1095 hardened carbon steel, so it's pretty tough. You have to put your stones in this optional with your char cloth. That's just part of the deal. You can buy your stones somewhere else, or you could replenish your own stones near a creek bed or somewhere. Got a couple flints for this test. This method goes back to medieval times, even further back. There's been examples of flint and steels with iron and pyrite strikers found in the Egyptian tombs. So they were using this all the way up to 3,000 years ago, this type of method. Char cloth is more of a modern method to making charred materials. Back in the old days, they used to use punk wood or amadou, and they would place it in the fire, dig a hole near a campfire, and then place the charred amadou or punk wood in the hole and then cover it up. So they didn't start using tins, like copper tins, until like the early 1500s. Early examples of copper tin, smothering tins being used were in the 1400s era. And what they would do is they would find punked wood or amadou and slice it up and put it in the fire with tongs and catch it on fire and char it, and then stick it in a tin like this, very similar to this, and then smother it and then close it and smother they would smother the punk wood, and then they would repeat the same process over and over again. It's a very good process. It's still being used by a lot of bushcrafters today. Overall, first impression thoughts of this ESEE flint steel kit is great. It works. I've used it. It's a little bit of a slower method to starting a fire, but if you like to get back to a traditional type of fire, this is a good method, right along with Ferrocerium rods. Now, the next product that we're going to be testing, which will be a first impression test, is this dual mini lixada stainless steel wood burning stove. We're going to be making the charred cloth, the more modern concept of charred cloth for survival way of how you could do it now these days. It comes with this little alcohol feature right here, and what you do is you place this in the center of it, and you can put alcohol in it for places that if you go camping they don't allow fires. So that option right there might be good for you, especially if you live in a California area. It's very small. I have the bigger version of this one, and I like it. It's fairly stable once you get it together. It's a little bit more flimsier than the big one, but it's not bad. I mean, for $10, it's great. The ESEE Fire Steel was probably about $25, $23. It's worth it, but there is cheaper flint and steels that are probably about as comparable to this one as to anything you can find on the market. Any fire steel will work for you, really. It's just marketed and labeled as a survival tool. And we're going to be using now, a lot of people, they like using denim or they like using punk wood. What we're going to do for this test is we're going to use the tuna can. It really does work. You have to have a reverse cut can opener, not a traditional can opener. Then you can make a lid. See how the lid is right here? And you can just place the lid right back on it like this, and you punch a nice little hole with a nail on top, so that way when you put the cloth in there, the smoke will come out of the top, and you'll know it's done by when the smoke goes away. You don't want to overload the can. You just want to put enough char cloth in here to, you know, to burn off, because you put too much in there. I notice a lot of people do the rolls and stuff like that. It doesn't give it an even char, so it won't be as effective if you just put a little bit of char cloth in there. You don't want to put too much in there. Okay, we're going to try out the lixada stove, and we're going to try out the ESEE flint and steel. In the lixada stove, we're going to get the tinder ready to go in the lixada stove.
Here. We got the small lixada stove ready to go. We got the ESEE flint and steel striker ready to go as well. Right there. I don't have very good lighting, I'm sorry, but what we're going to do is you're going to grab one of the stones. It's very simple. You want to find an edge on the stone that is curved upwards to use to bounce the spark into the, as you can see, it does give off a fair amount of sparks right there, you know, so let's see here, get a better angle right here for y'all. Right here, you know, throws off huge amounts of sparks right there. Works really good. We're going to be using a tulip poplar tinder bundle right here. Smells really good. Tulip poplar bark is the best, I think, for flint and steel. It has a longer burn time than jute twine. Jute twine's more of a flash tinder. This will actually stay lit longer, and we're going to try that out. And we're going to get this char cloth. Alright, we're going to try that again. Stove is ready and off and going. Now all you got to do is just feed the flames on this thing, and she's ready to go. And that was the ESEE flint and steel right there. They did the fire making. It's got the nice bow drill divot in it. So, and now what you got to do now is feed the fire. Very smoky, so you have to be mindful. You have to put some wood in there, small stuff. This shit will burn a long time. Oh. Very small stove. You're not going to be able to put a whole lot of wood in here, just enough to, you know, basically get it going. Very small twigs and stuff. But once you get it going, it does not stop. It has air holes on either side of this oven. It helps the fire breathe upwards and help it burn. Lixada stove is going and off and burning. We're going to place the tin right here from the tuna can. It's full of dishwashing rag, 100% cotton dishwashing rags, on top of the fire. And we'll feed it through the bottom. It should give off a nice little white smoke, and then you keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. And until the char cloth is done. You could also use this method to boil water and cook your food as well. Until that's done, we'll get back to you. Okay, folks, the white smoke is burnt off of the charred material. Now this is the tricky part, getting the tin off of the fire without burning yourself. So you may want to get like 2 sticks like this, and then you grab the tin, and be careful, don't knock the lid off. Set it to the side like so, and that should be done, and you let that cool off for about an hour or so. Let this fire die down, and we'll get back to you when this is
So we have wrapped this video up. We are done with the charred material. I hope you like this video overall. These products right here, like I said, you could use the Altoids tin for this method as well. You could either smother, or you could use the more modern concept of making char cloth. The char cloth is done, and this is the result of our little field test here. Came out with really nice consistent char cloth. Hang on a minute, let me get a piece of it out here. Really nice consistency, as you can see. It's going to be stuck together, so that is the consistency of the char cloth we made. It came out beautifully. Like I said, you don't overload the char cloth in these tins, because if you do, you won't get a consistent charring of the material. The lixada portable stove right here, I like it. We got our first burn in with it. It stayed together. It worked really well. I liked it. No issues of it falling apart. I give this a 5 out of 5. The alcohol portion we didn't use for this, but we will use that in another video for cooking maybe. And it came with this nice black nylon carrying case. I give this a really good score. It works really well. It's a little flimsy, but you know, for a $10 cheap portable stove, it works. The tuna can tin method of charring works really well as well. High marks for the ESEE flint and steel. This thing works excellent, so don't pass it up. It does work. It's not just a gimmick. It actually works. And I hope you like this overall product review of the ESEE flint and steel striking kit, the flint and steel striker kit, and the tin, and the char cloth method of making char cloth, and the lixada mini portable stove, and the alcohol portion, we'll use that later. Well folks, if you like this video and you found this helpful, how to make char cloth with different types of methods, very ancient method, very good methods to use. If you don't have a Altoids tin, you could use the tuna can with a reverse cut type of can opener, not a traditional can opener. Folks, I hope you like this video, and this is a good method to replenish your charred material with your flint and steel kit. Well folks, I hope you like this video on this product review, and if you do, please hit the like and subscribe. And you know what else, YouTube? You put God first, He puts you first every time. You know what else, YouTube? Peace out, YouTube.